All right, y'all. Happy Saturday. I want to do a video for the weekend study to break down some names. So I'm just going to kind of go down most of the big tech names, all the big dogs. And then I'll probably post a separate video where I go over other stuff, right? So, after looking at a few things, it kind of looks like to me, over the last couple of days, we had the end of month bullcrap going on. We had a nice big bounce out of some key areas, but we also ran up to and rejected for some pretty key areas, right? So, to me, they got us all bull-tarred and, tried to suck us in long, and it looks like maybe we're heading back down. So let's first start off with Meta. So I'm going to pull up the daily chart here, and wow, look at that. Look where we ran up to on the daily. We ran up to 310, so just a peak above this trend line here, and then failed back down to that 300 level, right? So to me, this is looking like we've got possibly more downside ahead. As long as we stay below this trend line, I'm going to be bearish on Meta, right? And I'm still kind of leaning towards a retest of this low down here, right? We had that quick little flush on Wednesday down to 286.79, so it's possible that we come back down to test that level, okay? Now, earnings are coming up, but we have that over a month away, so it's not really too much in my window right now. But for sure on Meta, if we can break back below 297.15, I think 286.87 can get tagged. So for this one, I'm actually going to look at possibly... So since we have earnings coming up in November, I'm possibly going to look at doing like a diagonal type play where I'll put the longs for, that week of earnings. And then I'll probably sell. So I'll probably put the longs at like, say, 295 puts. And then I'll sell like mid-October 280s, 285s, depending on what kind of premium I can get from them. Let me just take a quick look at the weekly here. Yeah, so, doesn't look too awful on the weekly chart, but again, we're below this trend line. I suppose you could say this is some sort of a bull flag here. We did test the 21 SMA on the weekly, and we did hold it. But, to me, I'm kind of leaning more bearish on this. So, like I said, until that trend line definitively breaks, it's hard to be bullish on Meta. Let's take a look at Amazon. So, similar story, right? Amazon came up and tested that 140 level last week and rejected very hard from it. We went down 8% from there. And we actually broke below the 21 SMA here, this green line right here. And we're below the 200 period weekly moving average. This is lower lows, lower highs on the weekly chart. To me, this is looking like Amazon definitely wants to test that 120 level, right? So it's possible we come down to this 121 area and this 116 to 115 area. So I'm not really looking for longs on Amazon until we at least test one of those levels, right? So I'm actually already in 120 strike calendars with the long strikes in November. But if you guys aren't in them, you can possibly look at like mid-October and mid-November 120 calendar spreads and just look for like 30% on them. Google, here's another one that I noticed. Better look on the daily. So Google, right, we ran up to this 138 area, right? And then on Wednesday of about a week ago, we had that big move down, 3% down, and then a big gap down right after that. And then yesterday, all we did was come up and just fill that gap and then reject back down pretty hard, okay? And that's also a previous pivot level from back here at the end of July, okay? So again, kind of leaning bullish or bearish on Google. I'm thinking, we test at least this 127 level and maybe into this 124 zone. Same thing for me. I'm not looking for any straight up puts. I'm just looking for like a put calendar spread, right? So I would do about the 125s probably mid-October, mid-November, okay? So that means we're selling the 124s or 125s for the middle of October, and we're buying the 124s or 125s for the middle of November, okay? What's another one I wanted to go over? NVIDIA. So, here's another one that, we just we bounced just above this 406 level that it's bounced from before in the past. And we ran back up to test this previous pivot in this 440 level, okay? So, until that level clears, it's also hard to be too bullish on NVIDIA. Nothing crazy there in the fibs, but yeah, so until NVIDIA clears that 440, I am looking for a retest of the low 400s. So if we get a break below 433.07, I think it's a short down to 410. Same thing, I'm not looking to outright short it. I'm probably just going to do, I don't know, for NVIDIA, because it moves so fast, sometimes it's hard to play calendars. So I think if I'm going to play, if I'm waiting for like a patient like swing trade for it to develop, a calendar is nice. But I think if I'm going to play the break below 433.07, I'm going to do like a broken wing butterfly. Like 410 by 400 by 395. Let me see. NVIDIA. So this is kind of what I'm looking at here. So if we get that break below, switch, sell a put, buy a put. Okay. So if we get that break below, there we go. And then we need two of these. What's that going for? It's about a $56 debit. That's not bad at all. Okay. Okay. So that's what that looks like right there. So we're buying the two strikes above this line with all the numbers here. These are your long strikes. The 400 on the bottom, that's your short strike. So we're selling two of the shorts, the 400s, and we're buying 410 and buying 395. It's 10 wide on the upper half of the strikes for only a $56 debit. That is a really good risk-reward ratio for me. Only $56 debit for something that's 10 wide. So the potential profit on this is 944, right? If we end up pinning 400, right? But let's say we get down to even 410 by Wednesday. That would be a $200 gain on a $50 risk, right? Where's our double point, though? So we would actually get a double if NVIDIA hits 418, which is very possible. I think NVIDIA could definitely hit 418, right? This is kind of an area of interest down here, even that 420 area. So, a break below 433.07, and if we hit 420, we're almost getting a double on this broken wing butterfly. So that's kind of my setup that I'm looking for on some of the bigger names. I might take a look at a few other ones, or you guys can kind of ping me in the Discord and ask me to go over any other names. But those are the ones I'm watching right now, and what I'm looking for specifically as far as like trade setups go. So if you guys have any questions, just let me know. And yeah, that's it. I'll be back with another video here probably in about 30 to 60 minutes or so, or later today. But all right, guys, have a good day.